Now we'll take a look at the 4-vector problem and see how it differs. We have pretty much the same setup in the array that we've set up here, except for we have one more vector added, and that's the D vector. So pretty much it's going to be treated the same as we move through this. Our values for the resultant will be a little different, and we'll see how we set up the graph as we move along. So I've entered all of the component values already. I've already entered my origin values that you saw from the last example. So let's take a look and see again how we do this. Same way, we're going to create our components. So equals the value, multiply, cosine, except, radian, except, and this time we have a value of 0. It's supposed to be right there in that block. I don't know why it's not there. It should be right there. Let's change it to D6. I don't know why it's hidden. D6, and it is not playing nicely with me. Let's start again. So equals that cell, multiply, cosine, except, times, radians, except, and now we need our angle, which is in D6. I'm going to type D6 because I can't see it. It seems to think that there's nothing there. And I gave it all its values. There it is. Okay, so now we've got the same relationship we had before. The value of the magnitude like we had, and then we multiply it times the cosine, do the conversion radians on the angle, this time 0. And just like we did before, we're going to copy and paste. You can use any one of those keystrokes that you prefer. On the Mac, I use Command C and Command Victor V. So we're going to do the same thing over here. We're going to enter our magnitude. We're going to multiply it. This time it's times sine. The sine function, we're going to convert to radians, and the same value of 0, and hit enter. Again, copy and paste into each of the cells. We're going to clean up these cells now because we don't need all of that. So we go back to format cells just like we did before. Choose the number, reduce this down to no decimals, and there we have all of our values, x component, y component, set up to go. If we want, we can do the resultants. Let's go ahead and do that. Click in the square, auto sum. Now this time we're going to select vector A, B, C, and D, because what we're looking for is everything to null out and there be 0 angle and 0 magnitude, but that's hard to do. So we're going to go ahead and accept that, and we'll do the same thing in the Y column, auto sum, A, B, C, and D for our values, hit enter. And so now we're set up when we get ready to add the resultant. So let's go ahead and create that vector diagram. We hit insert after we highlighted the items down here. Again, we're going to do the scatter with straight lines, and we've got our graph ready to go. Since we've got it setting here, let's expand it out a little bit. This one, click on the chart title, double click on it. We'll call it 4 vector addition. Okay, so we've got it labeled. Again, let's take everything off of here. We don't want any of the horizontal components. We don't want any of the vertical components, and we really don't need any of the x and y values. So again, like we saw before, the first vector is pointing the wrong direction. We need it to be pointing right straight along the x-axis. So in the next video, we'll get that straightened out and add the rest of the components to this vector diagram.